Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, back with another highly requested video today. People have been asking for an update video on the Israel and Palestine situation and to include any potential future complications with Egypt and Iran as well. So, we're going to try to sort through that here today, get some insights, some answers here. So far, per usual, have a pretty good track record on the channel. Gonna see if we can keep that going here on these videos. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Again, don't get too scared off by that because good track record on the channel. I am going to go ahead and kind of get us started and put the cards over here on the screen and move this microphone right here. Got old Penelope here trying to match the green trees in the back and the green in my shirt, trying to be festive here because I got to keep something lighthearted when we have the potential to talk about some very not lighthearted things. So we're going to take a peek at that today. As always, going to try to stay as neutral, fair, and balanced as I can. And so I'm going to do my best with that as always. And of course, all alleged, just my interpretation. All alleged, just my interpretation. Okay. So, we're going to jump right into this. If you haven't seen my previous videos on this, I've done more than one here on the channel, so they are there for you to take a look at. This is an update video, and again, people were requesting for me to kind of incorporate other nearby countries into this. Also, as usual, I am relatively uninformed about this, which a lot of people tend to prefer in these readings because they feel that it makes these readings less biased for someone to read the cards, just reading what they say as they say it, not having any, major predetermined idea about how it should go, will go, etc. So just take that in mind as well. Reading this pretty cold, reading this pretty blind, all things considered here. So let's get into this. Everybody give the topic some respect, give the reading some respect, give each other some respect. We're usually very good about that here on the channel, but I just like to put a reminder out in case anybody new is here and wants to start some shit and some drama up in the comments. We express ourselves, we say what we want to say, we say what we need to say, but we do it, with tact and kindness and politeness and, treat people as humans. So let's continue to do that as we always do. This one's about to fly right off the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down here. Let's just start taking a peek. Just kind of let this be wide open. See where the spirit guides would like to take us on this. Where they're going to go in terms of an update on this situation between Israel and Palestine, and including the fact that we are also interested in neighboring countries or countries that may have some involvement or at some point may become involved, such as Egypt and Iran. So, anywho, with this, I am not going to get any context right now. I'm just going to go with what we're looking at right here, and we'll see where it takes us from there. So, out the gate, just jumping on in there, right up out the gate, we start with this moon card, which not exactly the best sign for how to start, because the moon card is always talking about our emotionality, the deep, dark things, things that people stuff down, things that haven't come to light yet, things where we're struggling between one of two ways. You see the two different towers split here with a path in between. There's a lot of symbolism here with the moon card, and it is dark and heavy in a lot of different ways. The High Priestess card here with the High Priestess sitting in the middle between the pillars of dark and light. So again, the High Priestess trying to be the mediating factor between dark and light, good and evil, whatever you want to call it. So we're already seeing some pretty significant, heavy symbolism, symbology, whatever the word might be here in terms of this. So as people are looking at this situation merely as land conflict, I'm seeing that it's bigger than that. People who are looking at it saying, yeah, of course it's bigger, it's geopolitical, I'm seeing it bigger than that. People that are like, yeah, it's about the land, it's about geopolitics, and it's about the energy and the spirituality and all of that in there too. Yeah, I'm seeing like on many different dimensions, there's aspects of this playing out, like lots of different levels of this going on all at once, which contributes to it being a clusterfuck. Here's some good news. Here's some silver linings. This is literally a silver linings card when it comes up in the reverse position. The silver linings card coming up is showing that there will be some sort of movement made on this front that we could all consider successful movement here. Some strengths here with the strength card upright and the Knight of Swords getting clarity real fucking fast. So sometimes in situations, we have situations that are, slow and steady. Sometimes we have situations that happen pretty fast. Sometimes we have situations where people are clueless for a long time and then they slowly start to get the point. This is looking like one of those situations where it's like when a moment of clarity happens, it happens pretty fast. And that can be good and maybe not so good. The reason why it can be good to have fast clarity is, wouldn't we all want a situation to suddenly get some sort of clarity and start moving quickly towards that clarity? Yeah, that sounds good. But considering we have our Moon card here and our High Priestess card, these kind of dark and heavy energies, the clarity that comes fast could be coming from something that is pretty intense or pretty negative or pretty jolting, pretty jarring. And so I see some potential for that here. Just putting that out there. I don't think that that disagrees with anything I've said in previous readings. I don't exactly remember all the things I said in previous readings, so good. We'll see where this goes from there. There's some people that like to rewatch those and kind of see how these things line up and evolve over time. So feel free to go at that if that's your cup of tea. But it looks here like things kind of build up into this complicated mess where it's like there's no way out of this complication except for something pretty big happening to shake things up and rise back up through the ashes, so to speak. Already we know the situation has been intense and tragic in many ways. We know that many people have lost their lives. We know that a lot of, homes and businesses and establishments have been leveled. We know that it's a really scary and sad situation over there as it is, but it does look like somehow there's still more to come on that front. So just putting it out there. I say what I see. I don't hide anything that I see. If I'm seeing it, I'm going to say it. I'll have to figure out a YouTube friendly way of saying it, but I'll say it. And again, as other people have heard me say in the past, I'm not going to squeeze something out of the cards that isn't there though. If I don't see it, I'm not going to just try to make things fit and just say some shit, So let's pull a little bit more on this and see where it takes us from here. And yeah, kind of find out where we're going with this. And while I'm pulling this, these extra cards just as a reminder to folks, for people who like weekly updates on the Perk Squad. If you want to be a channel member, I do weekly updates every single week, kind of giving a heads up of what to expect. The Perk Squad also has all kinds of other perks like extended videos. We have an extended video that I recently did on the Tucker Carlson Putin interview and some things like that. There's also, you know, posts, and you get your own Penelope by your name and all kinds of other perks on the Perk Squad, such as video shout outs like this one. A shout out to you, Michelle, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Happy to have you. Michelle has been a member for 41 months. 41 months. There are also other members who have been here for 41 months on the channel, and I am grateful for all of you. Thank you to each and every one of you, and shout out to you, Michelle. 41 months. That's a big deal. I'm very grateful. Thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. Penelope is happy too. Michelle has purple Penelope eyes. I've got green ones here today. But yeah, so that's over there. Blue join button in below by the subscribe button, or the link in the description box if you'd like to access that. So, looking over here though, now we got all these pulled down. Man, just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. It feels like they are trying to kind of expand and talk about some of the other like neighboring countries that could already have some involvement or may eventually have some involvement here. When I'm looking at this, okay, just putting it out there. The Queen of Pentacles upright is good. Because this is some attempts at stability. This is some attempts at trying to calm things down. It does seem like there will be at least one voice in the mix that seems to be a more peacemaking voice, and it comes from somebody who does have a decent bit of power over this. So it's not just some Joe Schmo. It comes over here. I gotta quit saying that because we have a president named Joe Biden, and I have to quit saying Joe Schmo because it sounds like I'm talking about him in a bad way or something. I'm not trying to do that. That's happened twice now. That happened in a one of the previous readings that I did. I gotta think of something else. A Jane Doe, a John Doe, whatever. I don't know if that ended up being some kind of a Freudian slip in this somehow. I don't know. But whatever. There is a John Doe, Jane Doe type of character here that has some sort of power in this situation that does look like they are going to present themselves in some sort of a peacemaking, you know, neutralizing type of capacity that does seem to be good. So we will take that there. The issue that I'm seeing is it looks like there are going to be some others who think really hard and deep about that and determine, I think I want to stand up and go hard or go home, right? And there's somebody out there, at least one major individual, if not a like consortium of people who have a very we're gonna go hard or go home mentality about this, and that's going to, for lack of a better way of saying this, fuck things up a bit more. And so I see some full speed ahead with furthering relationship damage. So again, that can be relationship damage to Egypt. It can be relationship damage to Iran. It can be other players that are near those territories, near Palestine and Israel. It may be more beyond just Egypt and Iran, but I'm seeing this like devolving a bit here, where when this presents itself, like here's some ways that this can start to smooth over, or here's some outs, or here's some solutions, and then we get this, oh well, let me think deep about it, no, go hard or go home. That's when things start to fall apart here, because it feels like it feels like the other side will take this like as a slap in the face, like an insult, and take it personally, and that things will kind of escalate from there. This is kind of a rapid moving forward from there. So I see pockets of promise here. Pockets of promising individuals standing up for this, and pockets of promising projected plans in this. But the downside is I see it having a hard time sticking, because it feels like to make this happy, you're gonna have to piss off them, and to make these 2 or 3 happy, you're gonna have to piss off them, and there's a lose-lose vibe going on here, that seems escalatory in nature. I mean, when you're talking about dropping these balls, speeding forward, and then these partnerships kind of going down, it just feels like, how do I put this? That there's going to be certain people who maybe to this point, and I'm filming as of Monday, February 26th, so I know I always have to do it a second time, 6:40 p.m. Monday, February 26th, that to this point there may have that these people may either not have had involvement yet, or have had little involvement, not very much involvement, but I see that something picks up such that it seems to roll over onto them some, to where they now have to have more involvement. So what is, like, the picture that they're painting here is, it's a bad visual, like, I'm gonna say it because I'm seeing it, but you know how, like, if you're, trying to squeeze into tiny little airplane seats, and there's somebody that's kind of, encroaching on your space in your seat or whatever, and you're like, oh gosh, they're encroaching, and then, but I'm not going to say anything. Then somebody else comes on the other side of you, because you're in the middle seat, and they're encroaching on your space, and now you're getting squished from both sides, and you're like, now I've got to say something, because now I'm getting squeezed from both sides, and now I have to say something. I wasn't speaking up before, now I have to speak up. That's what I'm seeing here. Sorry for the wild visual, and sorry that that's the one that they put in my mind. I'm not trying to, sound some type of way or be offensive in any type of way, but that's the image they're putting in my mind. So that's the image that I'm saying to all of you right now, is that it looks very much like that there's some kind of a squeezing from sides, multiple sides, that makes some people who were either silent on this or not very involved end up feeling like they now have to speak up and become more involved, and now I've got to say something because I'm being squeezed from both sides. And there is a little bit of a dogpile effect that seems to come from that, that makes me a bit nervous. So again, that feels escalatory, doesn't it? And doesn't sound good in terms of playing well in the sandbox. What else can we know about this? I don't want to, go too far, too deep, too hard on something that we may need to tread lightly and tread carefully on. But again, I'll let you, just my interpretation. Just want to get another little peek here at whatever else we might be able to see relative to this. And I feel like the itchy stuff is coming back, so I'm going to once again grab the black salt, and in a second when I go to pull it, I'll have it in my receptive palm here, in my left palm, because that tends to keep the like the coughing and throat clearing away whenever I feel like something's coming in and trying to mute the message here. Let me pull these up so that I can reshuffle these and put them back into the deck, so that we can work off the entire deck here. As I'm reshuffling these to get prepared for our next section here where we'll get more context. I do want to remind people that if you'd like a private reading, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. You can get a private reading at BeasTalksAndTarot.com. There's various lengths of private readings that you can get on there. There's also Reiki Energy Healing for people who feel like they need an energy tune-up, cleansing, clearing, and to get some insights around that. I also have some life coaching for people who are just like, okay, let's just try to get through the disillusionment that is my life, the stress ball that is my life, and help me to try to move forward with this. New year, new me, let's try to make it happen. So got that there. And also for people who want to learn how to read tarot cards the way that I do, there's tarot tutoring on there. So for all things BeasTalksAndTarot.com, you can find that there on my website. But we are sufficiently shuffled up here, I do believe. So let's see, what else, what other kind of context, spirit guides, can we get on this situation as it appears to potentially be escalating in the future, pulling in more players or pulling in players to stronger degrees than they've already been involved, kind of seeing where this looks to take us further into 2024 here. All right, so got that, and now receptive hand, black salt, I'm gonna hold that. So with the Sun card in reverse, our Page of Pentacles in reverse, but our Knight of Wands upright, that doesn't feel super great for confidence, because this is, again, dropping balls, but yet, you know, being really fast and hurried about it. So that to me feels like not thinking things through very well and rushing. We don't want that energy when it comes to things like war. We want things to be strategic, thought out, trying to come from a solution-oriented point of view, things like that. But that's not what I'm seeing here. I also don't like the fact that now twice we've gotten the whole dropped balls symbolism, because I keep wanting to say symbolism, symbology. I don't know which of the words we have to use. I can't word today, so forgive the inarticulate that's coming out right now. It is what it is. But I just don't like that they've used that twice now. Remember, they had the Two of Pentacles in reverse over here on the last one, and now they have two more dropped balls right here, because dropped balls sounds a lot like, you know, dropping some other things that start with BOMBS and stuff, and we already know that there's been quite enough of that already. People are, again, not wanting those things to escalate or go further, but I'm seeing more of that energy, and this is just the Knight of Wands, you know, no better way to say it than it's the true fuckboy card of the tarot. Like, I mean, these people come in for self-gratification, do what the hell they want, and bounce. And that is the energy here. And again, I'm not saying anything in terms of choosing a side personally here and putting out, you know, rationale for any particular side here. I'm not doing that in this reading. I'm reading literally what I'm seeing right here. For people who've watched these videos with me for years, 4 years on this channel to be exact, they will see, yeah, I know she says these things with these certain cards and stuff like that. They know this is the fuckboy energy. Come in, do what I want, hedonistic, get the hell out. So if I'm seeing that that's what's happening here, that's not me choosing a side, that's me reading what I'm seeing, that there's something about that happening here. I get the Strength card upright, the Knight of Swords upright, and the Four of Swords upright, which is, thank goodness to see this on the bottom row, because it means that at some point further on in the year, we will see some strengths come in with people who are using using their brains with this, and they try to restore some semblance of peace, some rest, a pause, something that can give us a reprieve here, something that can be seen as intelligent, strategic, and de-escalatory. I do see that coming in here, but it only comes in after this. So again, kind of like they were alluding to in the beginning when they were saying that there's this sense of things get all jumbled up, and yeah, then we have a point of clarity. So it's like, oh great, you have a point of clarity because shit gets so bad that now all you can do is try to use your brain to get out of this. Like, I just wish people would do that first rather than later, but whatever. So with this, any kind of specifics around this that we can know, anything that can help us to understand with this? Okay. Again, insights, eureka moments, people taking charge, being like, listen here, something's got to be done. We've got to do something here. We've got to be smarter about this. We've got to be more pragmatic about this. Again, with the same Two of Pentacles I had just talked about with the whole dropping balls scenario. So they keep bringing up that symbolism here. I would be remiss if I didn't, stress the fact that this is the third time we're seeing this in our pools here. And a Queen of Cups in reverse. I mean, this looks like this is painful. This is emotionally painful. So with already the fact that there's already been a lot of emotional pain in this situation, I do see a worsening before I see it get better. Like it does look like this will get worse before it gets better. Just getting some more. Okay, I do see some partnering here, which looks good. I do see some begrudging compromises here. Like, I don't like this at all. I don't want to agree to this at all, but I will concede to this little thing or that little thing. Like, yeah, it may take pulling teeth, but I do see that. But the Hierophant, what they were about to have me say, I'm going to say it just because they were about to have me say it. I just stopped myself because it felt ugly, but the Hierophant will have to fall first. Take that as you will. Y'all know that this is my card about governments, institutions, very important entities. It is also often a religious card, since the imagery on the card looks kind of like a pope or something. It comes off as a card about religion and things like that, non-specific to any particular religion, the Hierophant card. So, all right, man, wow. Again, heartbreak and pain, something that looks like it's been a long time coming, new beginnings that have to happen. Lord, with all of this insanity here, I know tarot is notorious for not being the best at specificity around time frames, because time frames can flux, give or take a few standard deviations depending on, people's decision making and, free will and things like that. Things can shift a little bit, but just to get any kind of semblance of understanding of timelines on any of this, any particular timelines we need to be looking out for, any particular time periods that may have particular relevance here. Yeah. So in terms of any particular relevance here, again, give or take, I would say between, 5 and 9 here, May and September. Between May and September, some pretty significant things happening on this front. Again, give or take. So April could be fair game for something. October could be fair game for something. Those are cusp months on this timeline. But basically for all of us here, in the States, the thick of the summer months, the thick of the hot months, heat bringing out heat here as well. I see a lot of financial loss. I see a lot of attempts at silver linings. And interestingly enough, as I earlier was like, I don't want to say Joe Schmo. Don't make me say that. I shouldn't say that. I mean, a John Doe, Jane Doe. It could be anybody. Now I'm seeing our classic President Joe Biden card coming up here. And so it looks like there's something that he does end up playing a role in, again, sometime in these summer months, it seems, him or his administration, sometimes in these summer months relative to this, that looks significant. It is a moment of significant focus in 2024 that they're wanting to draw our attention to. So pay attention to the summer relative to this. It looks like we're doing a it gets worse before it gets better thing. It looks like there are going to be people, entities, countries, whatever, who either were not heavily involved or not involved at all, that will start to feel squeezed and feel like now they have to speak up and say something and do something. There will be some things presented that are in attempts to calm, pause, create peace that will get rejected. There will be some doubling down in some pretty insulting ways, or ways that big folks here take as insulting, and the intensity will ramp up before things can get better with this. So advice for us. Let's wrap this piece up on, advice for us as the everyday Janes and Johns out here, just trying to get by in terms of what we need to know, should know, can know, at this point in time, because it's kind of like, okay, all of this is happening. What about us? So let's just ask that real quick. And again, after I ask that, as always, we have B-rolls at the end of these videos that are like light and fun and cutesy. And so I'll play those so that we can, for folks that have tough times with heavy content like this, there will be little reprieves at the end of all the videos. So stay tuned through all the videos, watch the silly little B-rolls at the end, get your little chuckle and smile so that you can end on a positive note. Always like to do that. And speaking of lighthearted, actually, before I pull this last question here, speaking of lighthearted, there have been people who have understandably said, we've done a lot of heavy videos lately. We've done a lot of political videos lately. And what about the idea of having some videos that are either lighter or not political or whatever? So what would you like to see for those? Put some suggestions in the comments, please, for any particular, either lighthearted or non-political videos that you would be interested in right now. Especially for those of you who feel a little bit like, ooh, I don't know if I can take much more of these ones right here. Like, this is a lot. I need a little bit of levity, or I need a little bit of a change of scenery here. Then let me know in the comments below what you're looking for, what would be of interest, what would be some good ideas. And I'll kind of take some leads going off of that. So please feel free to sound off so I'll kind of have an idea of where I can go for that. I want to make sure that we have some of those things built in as well, because I think our next video is probably going to be the March 2024 predictions video. So that one might end up heavy as well. We need some stuff that can give a little bit of a change up after that. So y'all let me know about that. But anywho, in terms of us, what we can do, what we can expect, anything for us to help us through this, of what we need to know, what they would want to say, anything like that. So what I'm seeing is they're saying, I don't see a changeover in this very soon. There's a lot here about control, but there are going to be successes. So to not allow us to go to the worst case scenarios in our minds and to, play those out and worry over those to the nth degree, to know that there will be some successes in this. There will be some balance coming through this. This is the Justice card. Balance, fairness, justness, having that equilibrium restored. That yes, it may not be, laissez-faire and easy and lighthearted for a while, but we are on a bit on a roller coaster of fate in a way. Here's our Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's in the reverse position, which means we are kind of going in a spiral here, but we are in a spiral because that is what we've, all as a collective kind of contributed to, been a part of. A lot of things, as we've seen, they used already in this reading the imagery of kind of a phoenix rising through the ashes. There is a sense of, sometimes, as horrible as it is, our societies, our cultures, our leaders don't seem to, have their V8 moment. Should have had a V8 moment until horrible things happen, and then the people are like, you know what, I'm fucking tired of this horrible stuff happening, and we need to get up out of this and quit letting things devolve into this. We're tired of it. It's time for something new. And that can be the beginning point, the birthing point for something new and beautiful, just like a phoenix rising through the ashes, just like people saying, it's always dark before the dawn. And so in a horrible, bittersweet way, there's some sense of that in here, that again, we're trying to get closer to that space of, we cannot be letting these things happen. We cannot be operating this way. We cannot let this be our status quo. We have to find a different way. This does not work. And it looks like we're already knee deep down that path. There's no way to turn back the hands of time and undo what's already been done, the tragedies that have already been done. There's no way to unring that bell, but there are ways for this Justice card to come through and for things to start to reshape as a result of that. So I do see that is in the future for this situation. And here with two great cards, Magician card upright, Six of Pentacles cards upright, empowerment, being in charge, again, balance, restoration, charity, things of that nature. So it does look like it gets worse before it gets better. It does look like it pulls in other participants that maybe to this point have not participated much, if at all. But it does look like the end result will be that of empowerment and balance at some point. Of course, again, we cannot undo losses that have already occurred. But what we can do is have the hope that we can reach these kinds of points. Because I know for some people watching, they don't have hope of even that. They have their worst fears in front of them. And this is just trying to help people to have some hope of seeing these types of outcomes at some point with this. So this is the current update. This is about as quickly as I could try to do one. I know we're working at like 40 minutes here. Again, stay tuned for the B-roll. And so you can cheer up a little bit here, get some smiles, get some chuckles, get some laughs here at the end. Thankful for the salt as always. And yeah, give me some video ideas for some non-political or lighthearted things. And then also, if there are videos that you're like, but I am interested in some political stuff and I do want to know about the future of this, or what, an update on that, or, what about this scenario or that example or whatever, just sound off below, and as always, I have a list on my phone where I keep all of your suggestions, and it's my considerations list, and every time it's time to film a new video, I'm like, all right, now spirit guides, about to film a new video, let me read through this list, make one of them stand out to me right now as the one that we should choose to do today. And they do, they help me pick from that list. So if you hand me your suggestions, I add them to the list, and one day might be the day that spirit guides like, boom, let's do that one. So I'll put that out there. But anywho, y'all, I know it's a lot. Let's take some deep breaths, watch the B-rolls, let me know what you want to see. We're in this together. We're pushing through 2024. We already knew was going to be a big year. We were already prepared in advance for that. They've been giving us a heads up on that for like 4 years now. And so here we are with that. And we're in it together. So don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, y'all. Alrighty. They're protesting about it, especially Bodhi, but has to be done. You know, if y'all want to regress and act like, oh, we can start pissing in this house now, when y'all have been real good about it for a long time, then you're gonna have to get used to how to walk with it on. I mean, it's literally just around the middle. It ain't interfering in your legs or anything at all. This makes Bodhi look so fat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh, so you're trying to be serious. Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh. Yeah, look at him, because I want to fix it at least to be straight, because it's like diagonal.
Yeah. Alright, fix him. He looks so big. Honestly, he did gain weight when the puppy sitter came, because she had to give him treats every time he went into the bathroom, and she probably fed him extra supper, and so now we're gonna have to...
That sounds ready.
Quit licking the couch, Teddy. Yeah, we've got matching boys. I mean, he's just protesting. He's got his tail tucked. Son, it's really not in your way at all. It's just an inner tube around the middle. It's really, you're okay. You're going to get used to this. And honestly, if you didn't want this, then why did you all of a sudden start pissing on the floor like that's something you could do? In your 10 years on this earth, you've been real good about that. And suddenly, because there's a baby in the house, you think you can start? This is what we all get. We all get matching diapers. Matching diapers.